So the Hawks did a little work off the court in their days off. Been off for 4 days, of course, getting ready to take on the Warriors tonight. Their last game against the Warriors this season. But before they hit the court, they took care of one of their guys, Bogdanovic. Bogdan gets a 4-year, $68 million contract, according to sources, to extend him. It's going to start in the 2023-24 year. And of course, that means he declined the $18 million option in favor of this contract. Now, so far, Bogdan has been averaging 14 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists per game, 43 games this year. Not bad for him in terms of dealing with his comeback from injury. And he actually had 5 starts as well. Now, this one for me was interesting because I would venture to say none of us kind of saw this coming. But since we're here, what do you think about this move that the Hawks have decided to make to extend Jarvis? Bogey.
Yes.
He's
Bogdan.
earned his name.
Yes, Bogdan Bogdanovic. If you're shooting 40% from 3 this year on this squad, yeah, man. Like I gotta call you. I gotta go with Bogdan. Yeah,
and 43% from the field. Come on.
Yeah. That dude's he's been pretty consistent when you're talking about coming off the bench. So, but yeah, I think ultimately the Landry Fields of the world and of course Quin Snyder. I think this is like this is the guy that we want to keep around, and I think this might mean John Collins might be out for real this time. T.
Yes.
When you talk about $25 million on the books, Trey's a big boy contract kicking in next year. You got DeAndre Hunter stuff who's about to get ready to start kicking in as well. So all of those things come into play when you're talking about which pieces we're going to move around, because we know, like, you're not going to be well into the luxury tax or pay into the luxury tax if you still trying to figure things out. Yeah. You subtract salary until you figure it out, and then once you feel like you're contender, then you kind of jump into those waters, dip your toe into those waters, so to speak. And I think Tony Ressler would be more than willing to do that, but not with a subpar team that's sitting at 34 and 35 with about 17, 18 games left to go in the season. So yeah. I think that's the thing that came to mind initially, because to be honest with you, they traded for John Collins' replacement, Sadiq Bey. We've been talking about how he's been playing well. Bo has been sorry. Bogdan has been playing very well, or Bogey has been playing very well on defense also. And even Trey Young is locked in.
He's trying.
14, he's trying.
14
steals over 2 weeks, last 2 weeks, 14 steals. I'll take that all day, every day. So, and that's kind of how Steph Curry kind of implemented himself involved himself on defense as well. So we know he was a defensive liability early on, and he figured out a way to get involved on that side of the basketball. But yeah, I think this is definitely a message like, hey, this guy has some value to us, and we're probably going to look to see if we can find some value in return for you.
Yeah, because what you just said is a great example, right? Of course, Trey is known for the pick and roll, whether he's doing the pick and roll with Clint Capella, John Collins, or of recent Onyeka Okongwu. But to your point, he was hovering around like a little over 2 steals earlier on in the season. And as the season wore on, he just kept getting closer to averaging like 3 steals a game. The point of that is that now puts your team in position to be in transition, right? And get up on the break. You can get up on the break and kick it out to Bogey, and you pretty much know you're going to get a 3. You can kick it out to Sadiq Bey. You pretty much know you're going to get a made 3, and AJ Griffin as well. Yeah. There it is. Exactly. So it really gives you the opportunity in certain places to say, hey, if I can just get a little defense, then I know that I can get my offense to be more effective, right? And more efficient, because that's what they were known for last year. I mean, at the end of the league season, they were at the top for efficiency in shooting.
Yes.
It's not them
One
this
of the better
year.
teams in the NBA, yeah.
Exactly. So I think you make a great point about how this move will impact everybody else. So yes, it signals that the Hawks are looking at him as being a part of their long-term strategy, but it also signals, or should signal to some people, that you better figure out what your game is and your contribution is going to be real quick. Because, the Hawks might make that play-in round, but they're about to go fishing real soon. And when they go fishing, you might not go fishing with them. You might be fishing with somebody else's team. And like you said, there's I don't think you trade AJ Griffin. Let's just
No.
I think Jalen Johnson is actually starting to make a case with the coaching staff, not with the fans.
He has value.
Everybody else feels like he has value, but I think he's starting to make his case with them, and that's the important piece. And we saw a video yesterday from our girl Jamila Johnson. She had John Collins working out with Kyle Korver on his mid-range shot, and I said to myself, he better get that mid-range shot right real fast. Yeah, because you've got to.
Let me speak on that, because I think you made a really good point. But in regards to that though, like, that ain't gonna help. Like, that's not gonna help. I'm sorry. Like,
that's not enough.
That's not enough. Like, you need to be able to shoot the three. Like, sorry. Like, that's the way this offense is constructed. You need to be able to shoot a three, because
or you
Clint
better
Capella
be a lockdown defender.
Is the pick and roll guy.
Yeah,
he's the pick and roll guy.
Yeah, you're
that's
just
it. That's it.
You're now third in line, to be honest, because when Double O is in there, he's really, the preferred second option. But yeah, to your point, you've got one of two things to do. Either you better give them more on the offensive side of the ball, and not to make it too simple, but really, let's be real, the three-pointer, the three ball.
Yeah, that's it.
If you can't give them a three ball, you better be a lockdown defender. And really, you better do it on the wing. Have we seen anybody from that team be a lockdown defender on the wing consistently? The answer is hell no. So because we've not, And I guess the only other question I'll ask before I ask my
well, let me make a point, because I think I'm glad that you brought up Onyeka Okongwu, because I think that the sense of urgency is real, because guess what? Onyeka Okongwu is going to be a free agent after 2024. Also, DeJounte Murray, the guy who you traded 3 first-round picks for, he's going to be a free agent after 24 as well. And Saddiq Bey, the guy who you just traded for and potentially could be John Collins, a cheap John Collins replacement, is going to be a free agent after 2024. So all of those, the sense of urgency is realty. When you're talking about them giving him this extension right now, not allowing him to get to the hit the market or decline his option, because we got reports that was going to happen maybe about 3 weeks ago from my guy Mike Scotto. So I think when you have all of these the puzzle pieces are starting to really come together, and I think that when John start really assessing where he is, because I'm sure Quin Snyder has told him, he seems like a guy who can be very straightforward and blunt with love, because hey, he cares about you as a player. But I think that there are some things that needs to happen on this roster from a financial standpoint in order for this team to be able to assess where they are without spending their way and trying to figure out things as they're sitting in the luxury tax. I don't think that's the what Tony Ressler wants to do, and I don't think that's what Landry Fields wants to do at all as well.
Right. And it'll be interesting to see how that even impacts DeAndre Hunter, because that's a name that, as some of these moves have been made, you haven't really heard a lot about. And so maybe that indicates that he's secure, but I really don't know. To me, he's still a question mark that we probably need to see at least 5 to 7 more games to see if he gets back to two-way Dre, to see if he stays on this roster for next season. Now, speaking of coming back to this season, if you think the Hawks have woes, you should be a Warriors fan when they are on the road. They are 7-27. And for tonight, Kevon Looney is questionable. He's actually probable, so we'll go with he probably will play. Steph Curry's questionable, but I think he's probably going to be a go as well, just because, hey, you dropped 50 in the last game. You're probably still good. You know who won't go? Draymond Green. You get a 16th technical foul, the league sits you down. Why do I mention that? Because this is an opportunity for the Hawks to take advantage of. You know, they almost beat them back in January, heartbreaking double overtime loss to the Warriors at Golden State. So you're ripe and ready to deal with this team. But Jarvis, what are maybe 1 or 2 things that you feel like they can do to just get this W?
I just play focused basketball. Like, just come locked in. Like, come out here and play, because like when this team is locked in defensively, let me say that. When this team is locked in defensively, they are a pretty good doggone basketball team. And a lot of times you could tell, I know you could tell, I can tell as well, like how they come out in that first quarter, it pretty much can predict what they're going to be for the next 3, because this team, they can come out and be in la-la land sometimes. And I think that for the key for them, though, tonight is definitely locking in on defense. And if Steph Curry plays, closing out on threes, making
Yes.
sure they're, if they're switching, making sure they're staying in front of their guys, and then if a guy like Jalen Johnson who has been starting to become a nice perimeter defender, at the top of that defense, I see you, Quin Snyder. I see what you're doing, dude. I'm paying the real attention. So I think if they can get everything, get focused in on that on defensive end, I think it's going to be easy to get buckets and get a win tonight.
Yeah, and they need that because they had one of their worst assist games, only 17 assists. That's unheard of for the Hawks in their loss on Monday. And that also speaks to lack of ball movement. But like Quin Snyder said, you can't get an assist if you don't make a basket. So there's that. So we'll see what happens at the tip tonight, 7:30 down at State Farm Arena. But something else that's tipping off, of course, is March Madness. We're getting knee deep into it. Had the first upset last night by Virginia. Sorry, Dre. But Virginia is out of there. And if you're a Virginia fan and you want to drown your sorrows, go get yourself a Built Bar because you might need that chocolate in your life as you try to figure out how the Cavaliers went down last night and how brackets were busted, because we're hearing like from one outlet, there are only 1,000 brackets left that were busted last night, thanks to Virginia, the number 4 being beat by the number 13. So that Built Bar, it'll give you some protein. That'll give you a boost, kind of get you back ready for the games tonight. Also, so that's like what? 17 grams, unbelievable protein there. And then only 4 grams of sugar and only 130 calories. You can't beat that. Peanut butter, churro, all kinds of cool flavors for you as well. If you still like to do everything online, you know what you can do? You can watch ATL Day Ones online. Then you can go order yourself some Built Bars at Built.com. But if you are cool and you like to do brick and mortar, you still enjoy shopping, go right to Sam's, get your 13 bars, or you can go to Walmart and get your 4 bars. Just don't forget to get your Built Bar.